Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. Okay, is anybody watching yet? Nobody's watching yet. Let me wait a bit if anybody's gonna join us. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. I know I've been MIA on this app. I've been away for a long time. Yes, I've just been doing more of shorts. I've been posting more of short videos. I've not had time to really sit and make content. Yeah, so I'm sorry guys. And I have an idea. I want us to be doing a series. I want us to be doing series every day. God help me. I'm not every day. God help me. I'm using God here because if I should say I can do it, then I may not do it. But God help me. I want us to be doing a series of topics. We'll probably start with we're starting with this today. We're starting with this for the first time. So I bought this, the 5 love languages. I bought it last week when I went to church. And I want us to. We'll be reading. I've started reading it. I said that we should start reading it. We'll be doing a series on that. We'll start from the beginning and we'll finish it together. I don't know when we're going to finish it. So anytime we finish it is when we now move to the next book that we'll be doing. I initially wanted to read it on my own, then make a content on it. But since I already have topics that I want to talk about, guys, I have topics for you guys. I just need time. I've not been chanced. I don't really have time. I need time to create content. I have lots of topics that I can cover from now till next year. I promise you, I have topics. I just need time. I need energy. I need maybe the right gadget. Currently, I use my phone to record, but I'm praying to God for money so that I can, buy a good one that will be making nice and smooth content for you guys. But enough of all my talks. Let's just go straight to the and yeah, we don't need to read acknowledgements. We're not reading acknowledgements. Acknowledgement is not for us. So let's just go straight to chapter 1. And yeah, this is it. The 5 love languages by Gary Chapman, if I'm correct. Yeah, by Gary Chapman. I've been wanting to read this book for a long time. I've always wanted to read about this book. And thank God, last 2 weeks after service, as I was going, one of the ushers just came to meet me like, although she's my friend. And just so you know, I used to be an usher. I was once an usher in my church, but I just stopped. Please don't ask me why I stopped. I just stopped. So she came to meet me and she was like, am I not going to buy this? Sorry, in case you're hearing any sound. Yeah, messages are popping. So she was like, won't I buy book to read, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And funny enough, I told you that I have content to read. I this year, next year, I have like series of topics rather, for content today. And this is one of the topics that I have on my list. I use tax aid for tax aid, TASKADE. I use it for my content. So funny enough, this topic is one of the oh God, this is distracting me. I'm sorry guys. I don't know how to do it. Is there a way I can let me see if there's a way I can put my phone on do not disturb? So I don't know if there's a way I can do that so that I'll stop receiving any messages or anything. Okay, let me see if it's going to work. So I said that the topics that I said I have, this topic in particular is also one of them. So instead of just waiting till I get to there, let me just start with this. So this is what we'll be reading for today. Hey, okay. Welcome, Mr. Ayodele. Okay, so this is what we're reading. And for people that are just joining us, I said that I want us to be doing series I'll buy books, we'll be reading them, and we'll be talking about them. So this is my first time of starting this one. I've not read it. I bought it last 2 weeks. I bought it last month. Let's just say last month because we're already in a new month. So I bought this book last month, and I said that we should start reading. So I just want us to start reading, and when we are done with this, we'll move to the next one. We've said a lot. Please, let's just go straight into the book. So yes, chapter 1. What happens to love after the wedding? Yeah, so apparently, I think this book is majorly talking to married people. But I know that we can use all of this in our relationship, because love languages is not just for married people, it's for relationships too. So yeah, this is chapter 1. What happens to love after the wedding? What happens to love after the wedding? Let me start reading. So it started with story. So the story is being said by Gary Chapman himself. So he started with a story. So let me start with the story. At 30,000 feet, somewhere between Buffalo and Dallas. I'm reading from the book. He put his magazine in his seat pocket, turned into my direction, which is Gary Chapman, and asked, "What kind of work do you do?" So the person was asking Gary Chapman. He now said that I do marriage counseling and lead marriage enrichment seminars. I said, matter of factly, I've been wanting to ask someone this. I've been wanting to ask someone this for a long time. So it's the person that is asking Gary Chapman the question now. So he said he'd been wanting to ask someone this for a long time. He said, "What after you get married?" That is the married. So he now replied him, "What do you mean?" Now said, "Well," he said, "I've been married 3 times, and each time it was wonderful before we got married. But somehow after the wedding, it fell apart. All the love I thought I had for her and the love she seemed to have for me evaporated. I am a fairly intelligent person. I operate a successful business, but I don't understand it." Imagine somebody who is successful in his career, in what he does, but when it comes to marriage, this person does not know exactly how marriage works. Like, he does not know what to do. He has been divorced 3 times. For somebody, I'm sure this person asking this question is a multi-billionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire self, because the person is very successful in every area of his life except for marriage. So don't just think that because you do. For people, yeah. So this will lead me to say this, that I've heard people who have seen people, I know people who have said that I want to get money. When I get money, then the right people start coming my way. That is when I now start thinking of marriage. I'm sorry, even if you have all the money in the world and you don't know how marriage works, or you don't have the capacity for marriage, for a successful marriage, you will not get married. Or even if you get married, the marriage will not last. It is not a curse. I'm just saying it. Moving on. So the man said he has been married 3 times and it still doesn't know how marriage works, so he wants answer. So now the man, Gary Chapman, now asks him that, "How long were you married?" He said the first one lasted about 10 years, the second time we were married 3 years, and the last one almost 6 months. So Gary Chapman now asks him, "Did your love evaporate immediately after the wedding, or was it a gradual loss?" That's Gary Chapman asking the man. He now said, "Well, the second one went wrong from the very beginning." So he saw the signs. Sometimes before we start a relationship, we see the signs. Or it may not be from the beginning, maybe in the middle of the relationship, but somehow we always see the signs, but we just choose to neglect. So I'm sorry to say this, but when I hear people come out to talk about maybe domestic violence or emotional abuse, or somebody is stingy in the relationship or the marriage, I feel like there's a point in the relationship or the marriage that you would have seen some signs. It may not come out glaring, may not be so popping, but you see some signs. In my culture, in my language, I always say that character is like a smoke, that there's no way you hide it. It will pop up, it will come out, it will find a way to come out. Smoke, now smoke will always find a way to come out. So in my place, we believe that character is like a smoke. There's no how you hide it. It will pop up. It will come out. Yeah. So the man said that the second one, he saw the signs from the beginning. He now said he does not know what. I really thought we loved each other, but the honeymoon was a disaster, and we never recovered. Like they never recovered. That was what led to his third marriage. We only dated for 6 months. It was a whirlwind romance. It was really exciting. But after the marriage, it was a battle from the beginning. So the man is still continuing, like he's still narrating to Gary Chapman. He said, in my first marriage, we had 3 or 4 good years before the baby came. After the baby was born, I felt like she gave her attention to the baby and I no longer mattered. It was as if our one goal in life was to have a baby, and after the baby, she no longer needed me. So for people that are just joining us, we are reading on, we are reading this book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. This is the book we are reading, and I said that we are going to be reading books. Like I'll be coming on YouTube. I'll be doing a live video every Monday to Friday, every day, but I'm not certain if it will be every day, but let's just say every day for now. And we'll be discussing on books like this. So for now, we'll be reading on this one. And when we are done with this, I'm going to buy another one. So I just started with chapter 1. So let me go back. Let me read this one again. He said in his first marriage, we had 3 or 4 good years before the baby came. After the baby was born, I felt like she gave attention to the baby and I no longer mattered. So the man said that when the wife gave birth, that was when the love started depreciating, that the wife now placed all her attention and everything. She diverted it to the baby. It was as if her one goal in life was to have a baby, and after the baby, she no longer needed him. So I've also heard some things like this, that I've also heard some husband, they'll come out and say things like, when she gave birth, she no longer had my time. Like she just focused more on the baby, or when children started coming in, the husbands were not, giving the much or the needed attention that they want, and that was how the marriage just started failing and falling, and even the wife was not noticing it. I'm sure the husband would have been complaining that, baby, you are not always having my time again, baby, you're focusing more on our children and you have neglected me. You met me first before the children. I'm sure he would have complained. But let's continue. So Gary Chapman now asked him that, did you tell her that? And I said, oh yes, I told her. She said I was crazy. So I said it before that if you complain about this, for the men that have complained about things like this, I'm sure the wife they will not take notice. They will not even take it serious. They'll be like, oh, you're so are you now jealous of your baby, or are you jealous of your children? They'll start saying things like that. But these are the issues. Like, it starts from little things like this. If your wife or your partner is complaining about little things like this, and you're not serious with it, you're not taking note of all those things, it is the little things that become big. Imagine this man now complaining that since we have a baby, since we've given birth to this baby, you've not had my time, and the wife is saying you're crazy. Like, she's not even trying to put herself in the shoes that, okay, what if what he said is actually true? Or she's not even trying to look at the matter, look at it and just examine as, okay, I think I'm the one at fault, or I think he's saying the truth, but she said it's crazy. She said I did not understand. She said I did not understand the stress of being a 24-hour nurse. So the wife is a nurse. She said I should be more understanding and help her more. I really tried. The man said he tried, but it didn't seem to make any difference. After that, we just grew further apart. After a while, there was no love left, but deadness. Both of us agreed that marriage was over. So what happened to his first marriage was, when the baby came, when they gave birth, the wife neglected him and paid all the attention and focused all the attention on the baby and left him, and they fell apart, they grew apart, and that was what ended his first marriage. So now he went on, he said, my last marriage I really thought that one would be different. I had been divorced for 3 years. We dated each other for 2 years. I really thought we knew what we were doing, and I thought perhaps for the first time I really knew what it meant to love someone. I genuinely felt that she loved me. So this last marriage too did not work out. They they were married for 3 years and they divorced. They dated for, imagine, they dated for 2 years and they now got married. So if how come they did not see all of these things in the 2 years? Why did they now divorce after they got married? Imagine dating somebody for 2 years and after that 2 years you now got married and the marriage did not even last up to a year. Probably they should have just continued dating. What do you think? I think they should have continued dating, but you will not even know. So that's the thing. There's no how you can, no matter. So the the period of dating does not really determine how last that marriage will be. Even if you like date somebody for 10 years, and if that marriage is not going to last, it's not going to last. If you date somebody for 10 years and you now get married, something can happen and that marriage will be dissolved even before 1 year. So the timing of the dating period is not really certain that that marriage is going to last if you get married eventually. After the wedding, I don't think I changed. I continued to express love to her as I had before marriage. I told her how beautiful she was. I told her how much I loved her. I told her how proud I was to be her husband. But a few months after the marriage, she started complaining about petty things. At first, like my not taking the garbage out or not hanging up my clothes. Later, she went to attacking my character, telling me she didn't feel she could trust me, accusing me of not being faithful to her. She became a totally negative person. Before marriage, she was never negative. Like before they got married, I'm sure she was always a good lady or good girl. That even if something happens that she was supposed to get angry, I'm sure she would not have gotten angry. She should have just, continued, like, okay, I love you. Blah, blah, blah. So he said before marriage, she was never negative. She was one of the most positive people I have ever met. That is one of the things that attracted me to her. So the way this thing is going, this marriage thing, I don't know. If you have to put in the work. Not even marriage, even relationship. If you want a successful relationship that will lead to a successful marriage, you have to put in the work. And if you've been putting in the work in the relationship, you now get married, you now think that, oh, now that I'm married, let me now relent, let me stop, let me relax, and let me just continue. Nah, it will not work. So that energy that you have been putting from the dating period to the relationship period is what you should continue. In fact, when you now get married, I feel like you should even improve. You should improve, make it times 2 or times 5, so that the marriage will work. I'm not married yet though. I'm also learning. She never complained about anything. Everything I did was wonderful, but once we were married, it seems I could do nothing right. Like, I'm feeling the pain of this man already. I honestly don't know what happened. Eventually, I lost my love for her and began to resent her. That's what will happen. Like, this is what is going to happen. If you guys don't talk about your problem, or if one party is always complaining about something and the other party is not taking it serious, resentment will set in. There is no how resentment will set in, and that will be the end of the marriage or the relationship. I began to resent her. She obviously had no love for me. The man just knew that she did not love her after they already married. She did not love him, rather, after they already married. We agreed there was no benefit to our living together any longer, so we splitted. That was a year ago. So my question is, what happens to love after the wedding? Is my experience common? Is that why we have so many divorces in our country? I can't believe that it happened to me 3 times. And those who don't divorce, do they learn to live with the emptiness, or does love really stay alive in some marriages? If so, how? So this is the story of narrated by Gary Chapman himself. So now let's now go to the book itself, to the content of what we have here, to the 5 love languages that we have here. Let's now start. The questions my friend seated in 5A was asking are the questions that thousands of persons are asking today. Some are asking friends, and some are asking themselves. Sometimes the answers are couched in psychological research jargon that is almost incomprehensible. Sometimes they are couched in humor and folklore. That is, folklore is like I think traditions, our beliefs, what we believe, our customs, our value. Like, okay, so this is the way we do it in my house, and this is the way I'm going to take it to my marriage. This is the way my mother treated my father, so this is the way I'm going to also treat my husband when I get married. So it's just like a tradition that you bring into your relationship or you take into your marriage. Most of the jokes and pity sayings contain some truth, but they are like offering an aspirin to a person with cancer. The desire for romantic love in marriage is deeply rooted in our psychological makeup. Almost every particular magazine has at least one article each issue on keeping love alive in a marriage. Books abound on the subject. Television and radio talks television and radio talk shows deal with it. Keeping love alive in our marriages is serious business. So guys, before I proceed, I know that I'm not really going even me, as I'm talking, I'm anxious. Maybe because it's our first time of doing something like this. Maybe I'm sure next time when I come on live and we start talking about these things, it's going to get better. So for people that are just joining us, we are talking about this book. We are reading it, actually, not even talking. We're talking about the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. I said that we're going to start a series that I'll be bringing books, we'll be reading. It's just going to be on our live. I'm not going to post it as a content. It's just going to be on our live stream. So I pray for grace to be doing it Mondays to Friday. But in case I don't show up on some days, just know that I will always be doing it. And sometimes if I'm lucky, I can do on Saturday or Sunday. I'm currently hungry, I'm famished the way I'm talking to you. I'm on my break. I'm supposed to be on break. I'm supposed to be eating, but I'm so hungry. But tell it to say, let me just do this. Yeah, so let's move on. With all the books, magazines, and practical help available, why is it that few couples seems to have found the secret to keeping love alive after the wedding? It's a big question that we need to ask ourselves. I'm not married yet, so why is it that after marriage or after the wedding day start having problem in the marriage? Why is it that a couple can attend a communication workshop, hear wonderful ideas on how to enhance communication, return home and find themselves totally unable to implement the communication patterns demonstrated? It's funny. How is it that we read a magazine article on 101 ways to express love to your spouse, select 2 or 3 ways that seems especially good to us? Imagine you read a magazine of 101 ways to express love to your spouse. You now pick just 2 that is good to you, 2 that resonates well with you, and you now want to use that 2 out of 101. You want to use just 2 out of 101 to express love to your partner. So what happens to the 98 that is left? Who is going to use that one? Who is going to use the remaining 98? Is it me? The answer to those questions is the purpose of this book. Now we are getting closer to the purpose of this book, which is the 5 love languages. it is not that the books and articles already published are not helpful. The problem is that we have overlooked one fundamental truth. People speak different love languages. Now, this is it. We are about to start the topic, like we're entering into it. In the era of linguistics, there are major languages. Japanese, we have Chinese, we have Spanish, we have English, we have Portuguese, we have Greek, we have German, French, and so on. Most of us grew up learning the languages of our parents and siblings. Yeah, I can say that I'm a Yoruba girl, so I can speak Yoruba, which becomes our primary or native language. That's my native tongue, Yoruba. Later, we may learn additional languages, which is English, another language, but usually with much more effort. These become our secondary languages. We speak and understand best our native language. Very sure. Very correct. We feel most comfortable speaking that language. Yeah. The more we use a secondary language, the more comfortable we become conversing in it. If we speak only our primary language and encounter someone else who speaks only his or her primary language, which is different from ours, our communication will be limited. True. We must rely on pointing, grunting, drawing pictures, or acting out our ideas. We can communicate, but it is awkward. Language differences are part and parcel of human. We must learn the language of those with whom we wish to communicate. In the area of love, it is similar. Your emotional love language and the language of your spouse may be as different as Chinese from English. No matter how hard you try to express love in English, if your spouse understands only Chinese, you will never understand how to love each other. True. My friend on the plane was speaking the language of affirming words to his. He was sincere. True. But did she not understand his language? Perhaps she was looking for love in his behavior and didn't say it. Being sincere is not enough. We must be willing to learn our spouse's primary love language if we are to be effective communicators of love. So I think I'm going to stop here. Why? Because I'm famished. I'm so hungry. I need to go and eat. Oh, people are joining. I have 4 people watching. Okay, maybe because of this. Let me continue. Let me continue. You're welcome. If you just joined, you're welcome. So today we're talking about this book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And I said that we're going to be doing it as a series, that I'll be trying to come online every day, Monday to Friday. If I'm lucky, I'll come on Friday. I'll be coming online. We'll be reading on books, and we'll be reading it live and direct here on it. So, okay. I think, let me check. We're almost done with chapter 1. Okay, let's just finish chapter 1 today then. We'll continue tomorrow. So, my conclusion after 30 years of marriage, that's Gary Chapman talking. My conclusion after 30 years of marriage counseling is that there are basically 5 emotional love languages, 5 ways that people speak and understand emotional love. In the field of linguistics, a language may have numerous dialects or variations. Similarly, within the 5 basic emotional love languages, there are many dialects. That accounts for the magazine article titled 10 Ways to Let Your Spouse Know You Love Her, 20 Ways to Keep Your Man at Home, or 365 Expressions of Marital Love. There are not 10, 20, or 365 basic love 365 basic love languages. In my opinion, there are only 5. However, there may be numerous dialects. The number of ways to express love within a love language is limited only by one's imagination. The important thing is to speak the love language of your spouse. That is the most important thing. Even if you have 365 love languages, or you have 400, or you have 1000 love languages, the most important thing is you need to know your partner's love language, because that is the person you're dealing with, that is the person you're living with, that is the person you're married to. So If out of the 365 love languages, our own love or your partner's love language is just number one, it is that number one that you need to focus on. Yes, you need to discard the remaining 364. You don't need it. You focus on the number one that your partner wants or your partner loves. That is what you're focusing on. So the most important thing is to speak the love language of your spouse. We have long known that in early childhood development, each child develops unique emotional patterns. Some children, for example, develop a pattern of low self-esteem, whereas others have healthy self-esteem. Some develop emotional patterns of insecurity, whereas others grow up feeling secure. Some children grow up feeling loved, wanted, and appreciated, yet others grow up feeling unloved, unwanted, and unappreciated. The children who feel loved by their parents and peers will develop a primary emotional love language, based on their unique psychological makeup and the way their parents and other significant persons express love to them. They will speak and understand one primary love language. They may later learn a secondary love language, but they will always feel most comfortable with their primary language. Children who do not feel loved by their parents and peers will also develop a primary love language. However, it will be somewhat distorted in so much the same way as some children may learn poor grammar and have an underdeveloped vocabulary. That poor programming does not mean they cannot become good communicators, but it does mean they will have to work at it more diligently than those who had a more positive model. Likewise, children who grow up with an underdeveloped sense of emotional love can also come to feel loved and to communicate love, but they will have to work at it more diligently than those who grew up in a healthy, loving atmosphere. So let me set an example here concerning this one. In my family, in our house, we don't know how to say I love you. We don't say it. As a matter of fact, if I hear I love you from any of my siblings, I cringe. Like, you say waiting. Like, what are you saying? It sounds somehow because we don't say it in my family. Even now, I'm just praying that God will help me when I get married. I'm not going to take this into my marriage because to say I love you is something hard because of how it was done in my family, because of the environment that I grew, because of how it was done, because of the way we do it in my family. We don't say it, but we express it. I love my siblings. I don't say it, but I express it in ways that they will know that okay, I love them. I can send the last money in my account to my siblings. I can do that. I can render my services. I can render help to my siblings. That is how I express my own love. But to say it, fam, you work hard before you hear I love you from me. So that is what this verse is saying, that expressing it is my own primary love language, not by saying it. Seldom to husband and wife have the same primary emotional love language. We tend to speak our primary love language and we become confused when our spouse does not understand what we are communicating. Imagine my spouse or my partner telling me I love you and I'm not saying it back. Like he's saying I love you and I'm not saying it back. Or maybe my own is to just buy gifts, or my own is quality. Oh, I'm already like saying it. Okay, I don't want to be fast. Let me be too fast. Let me just continue. Okay, where was I? We are expressing our love, but the messages do not come true. They do not come true because we are speaking what to them is a foreign language. Therein lies the fundamental problem, and it is the purpose of this book to offer a solution. That is why I dared to write another book on love. Once you discover the 5 basic love languages and understand our primary love language, as well as our primary love language of our spouse, we will then have the needed information to apply the ideas in the book and articles. Once you identify and learn to speak your spouse's primary love language, I believe that you would have discovered the key to a long-lasting loving marriage. Love need not evaporate after the wedding, but in order to keep it alive, most of us we have to put for the effort to learn a secondary love language. We cannot rely on our native tongue if our spouse does not understand it. If we want him or her to feel the love we are trying to communicate, we must express it in his or her primary love language. That's the conclusion for today. That's the conclusion for today. Your own is to buy gifts. All you know how to do in this life is buy gifts. You buy like the most expensive gadgets. You buy your spouse or your partner. You buy them clothes. You buy them a lot of things. They are collecting it, but that is not their primary love language. That is not how they want to be loved. Probably they just want your attention. Excuse me. Maybe they just want your attention. They just want you to be coming home. They just want to be seeing you. That's your primary love language. Or your own is you want your partner to always, learn how to say, to compliment you. You want your partner to always compliment you, but your partner does not know how to compliment you, and it's as if they are doing it intentionally. This is who they are. They don't know how to say it. They don't know how to compliment you. You make fine hair. You don't know how to say, baby, your hair is fine, or you cut your hair as a man. Your partner does not know how to compliment you and say, baby, you look good. It is not their fault. But the problem is that they need to learn how to communicate your love language to you. That is where the problem is. Because you now start resenting them. You now start becoming sad. You start eating them stylishly. And before you know it, this thing will become so big that by the time you're now settling it, it would have gone beyond reconciling. That is when you now feel like, okay, there's nothing left for you. There's no love left in your heart for this person. And that is how you end the relationship. We just finished our chapter 1. Chapter 1 is basically saying that you need to learn the language of your partner. You need to learn the love language of your partner. That if you don't learn their primary love language, that relationship or that marriage will be useless, will be nothing, because your partner will not be getting the 100% love that they need from you. Yeah. So, I think we're going to stop here now. Number 1, my break is almost over, and number 2, I am famished. I'm starving. I need to go and eat. But by tomorrow, I'll make sure I eat before now, so that I'll be able to go in depth. So tomorrow we'll be starting our chapter 2. Our chapter 2 is keeping the love tank full. Keeping the love tank full. Okay, so I think what we need to do is that you can get this book, you can get the PDF, get the ebook, and start reading on your own. So tomorrow when we start discussing the chapter 2, you will probably be reading along, or you understand, so that it will not be like I'm the only one reading, so that we can be reading along. And if you have any questions, you can be dropping. Also, I want you to rate me. How did I perform today? I know I did not perform well. I know I'm already rating myself. I know I didn't perform well. Maybe because I'm anxious and I'm hungry and other things. Well, tomorrow, I promise you, I'll be well prepared. By tomorrow, and I'll be talking on chapter 2. It's going to be superb. I promise you. Maybe because this is our first time of. It's new to me, but tomorrow I promise it's going to be great. So thank you, Mr. Ayodele Awuladu. Thank you for joining, and the other 3 people. I don't know you. I'm not saying you. Yeah, but thank you for joining, and see you tomorrow. Bye.